Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that was terrible. I can do so much better than that. Oh, yeah! That's right! Last night's episode of Dynamite was by far the most impressive display of showing a new era in a professional wrestling company that I have seen in my lifetime. That's right, I am channeling the much because the madness is taking over when I take over. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, I almost died, but it was for your entertainment. Now then, let's get down to serious business because last night's episode of Dynamite really gave the feeling that we are in a new era. Not only with the new banging entrance, the intro visuals, as well as the new stage setup, but also it just felt like we are making real progress towards advancing from last year. And like right now, I have a swath of new matches that I'm excited for, seeing guys progress and more storylines going on, and people getting out of tiresome feuds. So let's buckle up, boys and girls, because this is my review of AEW Dynamite Ep 1 2023. And rest assured, there's the plan is from here moving forward is to be on it, but I'm talking too much. Let me get down to it because we open up with Starks versus Jericho. Honestly, two men Jericho in his prime and Starks was going on, that would probably be capable of making a sports entertainment match of the night. And even outside of those parameters, this really was a great match to open with. Rule 1 of AEW, you're gonna have either an amazing show all around or a fantastic opener and closer. That's how it goes. Either the show's gonna be A1 day one, or you're at very least gonna have the best opening and closing matches. So this was just an all-around great show. So honestly, in ring, there's nothing I can not say about these guys. Two professional guys that honestly went at it, and it looked great. I love watching guys like Starks and Jericho compete because it's a style that's a bit slower. It's not the high octane, but it's still very exciting. They get you very involved in the moves, and both of them are just masters of their crafts. But this was most definitely a proper rebound for Ricky Starks, as well as, a declining bit, I would say a bit of a trail down madness for Jericho. As Ricky Starks comes out with the big W, very impressive, solid, and much needed, especially after losing to MJF. This man is still a possible main eventer. I would say upper mid-carder for AEW, so it's definitely important that he gets big wins. And having his cap off the beginning of his 2023 year shows a lot of promise. Unfortunately, though, you just embarrassed Jericho in the new era in the opening match. So of course there was a jump, and you think they weren't gonna let that shit slide, but lo and behold, Jericho's new arch numero uno, Action Andretti, brings us up out. Is definitely giving my boy Starks a hand until the ladies have to come in and took him down to kick city. And it was just a mugging, and it ends with Starks getting put through a table. So I don't know if I don't feel like we should go right back to the well with Starks and Jericho, but let's get a little going on. Maybe he gets vindictive and beats on Stark. But honestly, I was gonna say, as far as a great opener, that was definitely a solid B+ in my opinion. Now, A- for this opener. I definitely felt like I was gonna undergrade it. It was still great, still good shit. Moving after that, though. After that, we are going into Hangman's interview, where a lot of people were here expecting to hear, he's good to go, he's ready to fight, but unfortunately, He's not 100%. He's not fully in there. He can't compete, at least for not another week. And that if he tries to do anything, he puts it in jeopardy of extending his time off for another week. And of course, that just means we're going to have the match come next week. But we got to know, why are we even here? Why did this happen? And of course, Mox wasn't just going to let old Hangman slink down and as he said it, besmirch a beautiful moment being that lariat that took him out. And we finally understood what the problem was. The problem isn't that, Hangman got knocked out. He's been knocked out by friends. He's been knocked out by enemies. He's knocked out by strangers. He understands that. But what Hangman's beef is that Mox made a joke of it. And honestly, that is a respectable reason for a story like this to happen in a pro wrestling match. They took, this incident, and then they're giving Hangman solid motivation to be the way he is. And Mox, although the heel in the scenario was just doing what he has to do. I'm definitely digging a new aggressive stance, and then no more talk, no more nonsense, no more bullshit that's going with the BCC and Moxley in general. And next week is going to be a hell of a show. And it's going to be at the Kia Forum, and it's going to be the final match of the Best of 7 series. This just made it all the more better. Definitely enjoyed that. So, once all that nonsense is going on, we're getting situated with Hangman and Mox come next week. It's time for the AEW tag titles to go on the line. The Acclaimed versus what I'm going to call Team TNA. All I can say is this match had no right to be as good as it was. It had no right being as good as it was. But then again, I'm also forgetting the Acclaim is a great tag team, but really, it's really the charisma of Caster and the in-ring excellence of Boeing. Match with, and again, it's my fault for forgetting this, even though I know how great they are. Jay Lethal, one of the best wrestlers out there, or of his generation, especially of the previous decade, teamed up with Jeff Jarrett, the last outlaw, a man who honestly, in-ring wise, doesn't seem to have lost much of a step. This motherfucker can go. And it's like, I feel like it's like some of the better TNA nonsense qualities coming in. And I don't care I know what everybody's gonna say. Sanjay Dunn, he's corny. Their whole thing is wild, but honestly, I am actually enjoying it because when you have a wrestling show that has a taste of everything, I didn't know how much I would like having a little bit of old TNA. Unfortunately, not the best parts, but entertaining parts, just the entertaining nonsense and foolishness. But then he's making it in the motherfucking ring, and a great tag team match goes on. I mean, the isolation on Boeing by Jay and Jeff Jarrett. Jay's mind to get Billy Gunn eliminated early on. I'm just like, now the story's being told good, but also I'm like, I'm enjoying the prospect of possibly having them win the belts. And I'm not going to lie, when I heard that 1, 2, 3. For like 5 seconds, I was like, these motherfuckers just won the belts. But then I had to look at them like, wait a minute. No, because all those refs there's no way nobody's not going to do it. And of course, head referee for AEW, I don't care what nobody the fuck says, Aubrey is the head referee in AEW, comes down, gets it overturned, we go back into it for the Acclaim to reclaim their gold. And I'm just like, We're gonna have to get like a double dose of this. We gotta come back at it. And of course, later in the show, backstage, Jeff Jarrett is throwing a fuss, a tit tattle about it, and it's like, nah, we doing this again, just for me to find out that Friday is gonna be a hell of a fucking night of wrestling. Now, granted, it's gonna go on late as shit, and if they were smart, they would have just said, fuck it, we're gonna put this whole night against SmackDown. 7 o'clock, we're gonna do Rampage, because following Rampage immediately is Battle of the Belts 5. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I watched me a Battle of the Belts, but honestly, it's a nice little televised event, free TV for what could arguably be pay-per-view caliber matches. And I do not think Jeff Jarrett and them will get the belts, but if they did, and we have like a short TNA run, maybe get them boys to go over to TNA, or maybe they're transitional champions that can fuck around and get an interesting three-way situation going on for that belts involving the Young Bucks, FCR, and the Acclaim, and kind of get the AEW tag division like back going again. I'm down. I most definitely would be down. So we're gonna wait and see, but that's an interesting prospect. But honestly, that match just had way more than it deserves, and that match was an A. That match was a deserved A. Like Jeff Jarrett, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you are proving a lot of motherfuckers wrong, and I'm glad that you are here to do shit like this. Hopefully get some good net going on backstage. I don't know what the fuck how that's going, but still, whew, that was good for no reason. Now then, following that match, we have an interview between Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and you know, she like Hayter's the killer, Britt's the pillar. Like, a nice little tag team name. That's cute. That's cute there. Also, dropping like some like little tidbits on who may or could have been Saraya's partner. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But you know, just some little hints about bosses and whatnot. But I am definitely interested. But that's building towards next week's match. I figured they would have probably had this segment later. But honestly, I'm liking seeing more women earlier on the show as well as later on the show, especially when we're building towards segments and matches and stuff. That's good. Just kind of give me some more shit besides just, you know, Britt. I love Britt, but that whole ecosystem I needed to kind of expand out to the greater women's division. Also, we get a backstage segment where Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, if you will, is tired of the shit. And so next week, he's challenging Lee Moriarty and William Morrissey, aka Big Bill, to a tag match, and he's got a very special part, especially considering how much the firm's been kind of fucking with them. It's time for Hook to do something. I probably would like this more I would like this way more if this does lead into singles work, like, you know, Jungle Boy and Lee Moriarty or Hook. Nah. As far as I go, Hook probably be the best person to go up against William Morrissey, and then have Lee Moriarty and Hook go at it. Jesus Christ, sorry, I'm off my rockets a little bit. That most definitely would make for an interesting prospect for a show and for some matches to happen. Just hearing my thoughts going on there. Following that little segment though, we get a match that ideally I would be more than excited for because it makes my mouth salivate. And a taste of it was like exactly what I wanted, but it turned out to be Cannon Father or Squash, because we had Tony Nese versus Bryan Danielson. And, oh God, it just like, you got to think about it. If you know how good Tony Nese actually is, you would know that him versus Daniel Bryan is something that should go for like 10 to 15 minutes. Just beautiful in-ring action. Just, but nevertheless, he was Cannon Fodder for, well, a much bigger fish. Fucking fish as well. I'm talking about the promo battle between Bryan Danielson, Bryan Danielson and MJF. And in a battle of promos, let's be honest, you're not really just gonna best MJF unless he's kind of throwing you some softballs, and there was some amount of softballs here. But Daniel Bryan, in his own quirky, dorky way, does hit hard, especially considering that they're in Seattle, Washington. So, you know, they're in Danielson's backyard with a hot crowd. I have not told y'all, this crowd was so fucking hot tonight. They made the goddamn show. Point being, the promo doesn't matter. What matters is the challenge, the stipulations are going to get Danielson to have a match for the AEW belt against MJF. And it's simple. It's the easiest of any stipulation. That MJF ever said. All Bryan Danielson has to do is become champ. Become the number one contender. And I was like, is this making the rankings relevant again and important? Because let's be honest, Being number one contender is fucking important. I like the AEW ranking system. Please do not forget it ever again. Make it important. Make it useful, please. But I also need to do a video on that, but I'm not going to make no promises here about that. But until like middle of February, all Brian Danielson has to do is become the number one contender. Do not lose a match until then. And he gets MJF at Revolution. But there's a bone thrown because Brian Danielson has a counter offer that he gets to pick the match for MJF. And MJF is excited. He's like, you're really just going to give a reason for me to cheat in front of the ref? Okay. Because it's MJF cocky. So they're going to get a 1 hour Iron Man match. And because we're learning about this, day 1 of 2023, I have something to build to that is just going to salivate and make my mouth water all the way up until Revolution. And I kid you the fuck not. I need that match. I need it in my life. I gotta see it. It's gotta happen. It's got to fucking happen, without a doubt. So what would have been a less than ideal moment became grand, more important, and definitely elevated something that I didn't think was gonna be as good to basically being the most exciting thing of the night, because that prospect of what I have looking forward to already just got me going. I'm not gonna rate a squash match, so we're just gonna let that go. But definitely some good shit for that segment. But after that, we have Swerve versus AR Fox. I'm talking about, and if you're in the know Lucha Underground greatness in a bottle, I swear to God, AR Fox is definitely going to need to be on a come up. I need him in some type of title picture, be it TNT, be it All Atlantic. I'm gonna need him once to go. Hell, make it the FTW belt, whatever, because this man is too good. But more importantly, Swerve definitely has to become upper mid card and or one of the new main eventers in AEW, because this man is just great. Now then, we still got to see what's gonna happen with this Mogul affiliates group he's got going on. I have no problem with it because it's got Parker Boudreaux, and Parker Boudreaux is a kid to look out for because he can be something fucking special. And let's be honest, he could be another Brock Lesnar if you take care of it properly. But still, I have high hopes for Parker Boudreaux. Now letting that go, this fucking match was my match of the night. Like close number 2 was a tag match, but this right here, you could have put this match on the main event of any episode of Dynamite. It would be talked about. Match of the night. It's something that, if honestly we have 2 or 3 more of these in this year, and it builds for something important, added to a big pay-per-view, you got a money card. I'm telling you, AR Fox kills you. If you watch Lucha Underground, you'd understand. And these guys know each other so well that they just made magic in the ring. God, hey, this match is a fucking A. And if this had the proper story and build to it, we could have had a possible S on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. I reserve S's for the best of the best. And this could have done it. But it's getting the A for me. Lord have mercy, that was great. So, following that, we have the second interview segment with Saraya, and addressing that she's excited for next week, and that then announcing right then and there her tag partner is actually going to be Toni Storm. And I'm like, we've been building for this, for you to say that you want Toni Storm to be your tag partner. Everybody's got suspicions, and personally, there's a little Monet going out and about that I believe, along with a lot of people, will do it. And I'm kind of hoping this is a misdirect just to kind of get her put into place. But yeah, it's gonna be Toni Storm. But the key point to keep in mind is that Hikaru Shida had a very particular response whenever Saraya said that her partner was gonna be Toni Storm. So could we also be looking to get heel Hikaru Shida. I'm just saying, I would like it. She's been a babyface. She's got a whole new look. I've seen her be aggressive in the ring. So yeah, maybe we can work towards her doing fucking that up, and then a surprise replacement happens to be Mercedes Moné, who just happens to be in the area. That music hits is gonna go ballistic. Now, she is with New Japan. So maybe that just kind of means that she can kind of work other places, and she's talking about a world tour. We'll get to that. I'll know next week. Following that, we had a gun segment that honestly was funny than it had any fucking right to be. I enjoyed it. If you like your sports entertainment, this is your taste of sports entertainment. Cool. It's just gonna build to, FTR and the Guns 2, which probably hold off until the FTR has had a sizable losing streak to get back onto a winning streak, beat the Guns, rectifying that loss, and then going on the tear to the AEW Gold again. Yeah, that probably be the best way. Well, at least what I would want to do. Following that though, women's tag action, which is interesting because it was Red Velvet and Jade Cargill going up against Kiera Hogan and Sky Blue. Now I've seen Jade Cargill cross paths with Kiera Blue enough times already outside of another singles match. So I was like that, but what I didn't know, and what I kind of been missing out, because shit happens on shows that I've been missing, is that Cargill and Red Velvet have been kind of on the odds. They ain't right there. It's not all tight. And outside of the fact that the in-ring was good, Red Velvet was really getting her bell wrong. But honestly, I still am a big Red Velvet fan. And there was still some shit that got it like, I would like to see her go on a bit of a tear. Maybe have her have some really great matches. See her kind of elevate herself and her stock. Because I remember when she was kind of rolling for a minute before kind of going quiet and silent, and then So essentially it's Jade Cargill in the match. She's not taking an L. She got 47 wins now. Total wins, which is interesting, a way to look at it instead of being like singles attacks. Just all around, she is undefeated. So she's got 3 more matches before she's about to lose that belt. Instead of proper precedent for wrestlers in general, not just women, but wrestlers in general. But the match itself, it was good. Like, I have no complaints. I like the story it told. Even that was gonna get like A- for me. Because it just logical, made sense. In-ring was crisp. I didn't have any problems. I saw some good work from Kiera Hogan. I saw Sky Blue doing her thing. I could have used a bit more tag work, but I'm just going to take it for what it is. So, A- for me. Good. No, I have a particular standard. And it's the story that's keeping it on an A-, even though in-ring wise, I'll give it a B+. Because Red Velvet walked out midway through, so we knew what was up. Now then. Following that, we had the match that I didn't know how to go. Now, part of me is like, they're in Seattle. They're in Darby's backyard. It's a TNT title. Of course Darby's gonna win, right? But then that part of me that thinks because that WWE part of me was like, there's no fucking way he's gonna win. Joe's on a bit of a tear. Why would he win here? It could be a fun match, but I don't think he's gonna win. And Lord have mercy, talk about shotgunning out. I mean, Jesus, the beating that Darby was putting on Joe at first, I was like, no fucking way. But Joe was Joe, and Joe was getting that ass. Surprisingly, this was 10 minutes, and I didn't even think about the time, but it was like roughly 10 minutes of just hard hitting, proper action. But at the end of the day, Darby pulled the surprise win. And I was like, my man won. I wasn't expecting it. But not only that, Sting came out. They hit him with the silver and black confetti. I'm like, on top of him winning, this has to be like some sort of reset or reboot for the TNT title picture. And then also we got a snippet for the new video, for the new intro, whatever. But for right now, I'm like, where do we go here? Because there are guys that I need to be seen. Now, I was personally of the opinion that the TNT title should have became the AEW's unofficial House belt, but you know the fuck what? I don't care. What I do know is that you got a Miro, you got a Lance Archer, you got a Keith Lee, you got Brody King. You have so many people that need to be vying for places, spots, and opportunities, stories to tell, and guys that you need to put work in. But more importantly, bring Miro back. The Redeemer needs his belt, and probably bring in Lana too. But the Redeemer needs his fucking belt. This show, kicking off the year, perfect, like a perfect Kickstarter for a new year, a perfect Kickstarter for. Sorry, work. Had me pull this out, but yeah, with the way that this show made me feel, with the way they put it together, the things that I'm getting set up for, even though it's 1 week in advance, but also down the line towards the next pay-per-view, this right here is how you kick off the year. This is a show. Now then, it wasn't perfect to where I would say it's A+ or even an S, because that is a hard standard to try and hit. And I'll probably bring it down just a notch for my S's, but definitely a perfect kickoff show for both the new year, a new era. There's no question about it. So with that being said, 25 minutes. I still take a long time doing these reviews, but you know what? I like talking about wrestling, and I like feeling this way. I will try to watch Rampage and review Rampage. I haven't done it before, but definitely considering what this is going to be like come Friday, I might have to. So if y'all have made it this far in the video, please like, share, subscribe, talk to me in the comments, because I do talk back. It's been your boy WxG, and I gotta hit the road. I'm out here. Peace.